Hi, I'm Akin. I'm one of the head wrestling coaches at East Kansas Wrestling Club in Northeast Kansas. Today we're going to show you some moves from the top position, breakdowns, pin holds, and rides. These techniques should help your young wrestler develop the skills he needs to gain success in the sport of wrestling. Okay, beginning with riding and pinning, the first thing I need to think about is just like up on my feet is my stance and my position. So when I get on top of a guy in referee's position, I want to use proper referee's position. Okay, there's a few things that I want to do that are key to my position here. First of all, when I get on top of this guy, I don't want to be too high up here. Okay, I want to be right at the right level. It's not right in the middle, but it's a little bit behind it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my chest. I'm going to put weight on this guy. I'm not going to make it too noticeable to the referee, but I'm going to drive forward a little bit with my feet. A lot of my weight's on this guy because I want weight on his hands. Okay, because his first move, he wants to explode up and get off of his hands. So when I get on top, I give a little pressure forward so there's weight on his hands. Okay, now turn this way. Another thing that I do, I'm getting on top. I don't want to commit to one side. I don't want to pick this as my side. Okay, I might have that elbow. Okay, but I'm not committed to over here. I want to get straight behind this guy as much as the referee will allow me to do. I'll put my knees where they're supposed to be, and I'm driving forward a little bit, like I said. I'm looking forward, watching the referee, and I got weight forward, driving on that guy's hands. I'm pushing off that toe. Okay, as much as the ref will let me, I get straight behind this guy. I don't want to commit to one side. I'm letting his hips out. I want to get straight behind him. The first breakdown I'm going to use to get the guy down to the mat is just a tight waist ankle, a basic tight waist ankle, where I'm going to get in my stance right behind the guy. I'm going to get my hand on his elbow where it goes. I don't have my elbow way out here. I got my elbow in, good position, like a wrestling stance. Okay, and right off the whistle, this is one of the reasons why I want to line up straight behind this guy opposed to that side. Okay, because I'm going to travel this way off the whistle. I'm going to attack his waist real deep, and I'm going to attack this ankle. Okay, so if I start here, I'm already halfway there. If I start here, I'm a little further away. Now I got to go all the way to here off the whistle. I don't want to have to do that. I want to get right behind my opponent. I want to stick my hand straight behind his elbow. I don't want my elbow out. I'm going to be nice and tight right here. My hand's on his belly. And right off the whistle, I'm going to rotate my hips this way, and I'm reaching like I'm in on a deep double leg. I'm blocking his ankle. Okay, I'm going for a tight waist. First, I'm going to block this knee right here, and I'm going to knock him down to this hip and put him in that mermaid position. Okay, I'm putting him on his hip, on his side like a mermaid. Now I'm going to attack his waist. He's going to belly down. I'm on top of this guy with a good clean breakdown. We're stopping right there. I don't need to carry it any further. I'm just working on the breakdown. So I'm behind him. Right off the whistle, I'm rotating. Okay? The referee, the rules are going to say I need to have this knee down, and this knee can be up if I want it to. So right off the whistle, I put this knee down. It gives me momentum. It switches me to this side. I block his ankle so he can't step out. Okay, I can tight waist and hang on until I'm ready to drive and block his knee. I knock him down to his hip. And then I get my tight waist back on. He's going to belly down. I got a good clean breakdown. Tight waist ankle. Okay, the next breakdown I'm going to do is called a chop. Some call it the jammin' chop. I call it the 180. I was taught that it's called the 180. And the reason why is because when I'm chopping this guy and I'm using my tight waist to turn him, I want to turn him 180 degrees. He started that way, now he's facing that way. Okay, what he's going to do is build back up to a stance, and I'm going to use this hand on his hip. I'm going to pull this elbow in over here like a chop, and I'm going to turn him in a circle again. Now he's looking back 180 degrees the other way. He's going to build back up. I'm going to chop. I'm going to use my tight waist. This tight waist is bringing him over here like a whizzer. Okay, we know the whizzer. Okay, from our takedown series, we know the whizzer where we use our hip. Okay, I'm doing a whizzer to his gut here. Okay, so I'm turning and I'm whizzering on his gut. That turns him 180 degrees. Okay, I don't just want to chop my guy straight forward like this. I want to face him 180. Okay, so I'm driving off this foot. I'm driving off this foot. I'm pulling with my gut whizzer, and I'm pulling with this hook right here where his arm bends at his elbow. That's my chop. I'm not reaching up here and chopping. I'm not coming up and chopping. I'm just putting a hook right there where his elbow bends, and I'm snugging it in, pulling it in there, making him turn 180 degrees. Notice, I'm still belly down. I'm on top of my opponent. I'm up here. I'm pouncing on him. Okay? A lot of people don't do that. They do the chop. They chop the arm. They block the knee with their knee, and they lay on their own mermaid hip. They lay over here like a mermaid. I don't want to be here. I can't scramble here. I can get in bad position. Okay? I stay belly down at all times. Okay, so I chop. I whizzer his gut. I drive off my far foot, and I turn him 180 degrees. Okay? I can attack his wrist and go into other wrist rides. That's all we're working on right now, the 180. Rotate. Shoot his hand across. Block the ankle. He should be blocking the ankle. This is what I'm looking for, just like he's doing. He's blocking the knee. And I want him to drive the guy right over to that hip. Cross face, tight waist ankle. Good breakdown. Good job. Okay, I'm going to have Dylan and Connor working the 180 chop, the 180 chop. I'm going to watch and make sure he's turning his head all the way back the other way. He's pulling him in a circle, and he's staying belly down. Let's see it. Good. Keep going. Build him back up. I want my bottom man to build back up. I want my top man to have to break him down again. I want to see him driving his knee up his butt. And he's going to keep turning him in a 180-degree angle. And turn him all the way back the other way. Good. Now Connor's going to get on top and do the same thing. Dylan's going to keep building up to a base when Connor breaks him down. Turning him 180. And if he's not going a full 180 degrees, he's still turning him. That's still good. That's what I want to see. I want to see the motion where he's turning his head like a clock. He's pointing at 12 o'clock. He hits his breakdown, go. And now his head's pointing over here at 6 o'clock. That's 180 degrees, somewhere close to it. He needs to turn his body. Okay, next I'm just going to use a spiral ride breakdown to get this guy broken down. And on a spiral ride, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an underhook on one arm. Okay, and I'm going to have this other hand in his front pocket over here. Turn this way. So this hand's going to go in his front pocket. I'm going to use this like a lever to pry his knee out. I'm going to try to run a circle this way, a spiral, to break this guy down. So what I'm going to do is use my head to keep his head down too. So I'm up off my knees. If I'm on my knees, half the weight's on my knees. I need to get off my knees. I need to drive his head down. I'm going to rotate in a circle, and I'm going to lift this knee off the mat. That puts weight on this hand. If I got the back knee off the mat, it's got weight on this hand to where he'll collapse. I got to put weight on his hand. Okay. So I got inside the front pocket, my head driving the back of his head down. I'm going to run him in a circle, put weight on his front hand. I want that wrist if it's there. I'm going to break him down. I'm going to combine my spiral ride with my chop. I'm going to try to run my spiral ride. My opponent won't let me break him down. So what I'm going to do, I still got a lot of weight here. He's keeping a heavy base. I'm going to come back almost behind him. But I'm going to put my knee down right here next to his ankle. And I'm just going to trip him over my knee. Just pulling his hips. Okay? It's just a tricky little trip. Okay? Because I could try pulling this guy all day long with my whizzer, my tight waist. I can try to pull him to his hip. He's just going to scoot his leg out. He's not going to let me knock him down to his hip. Okay? But he can't scoot his leg out if I block his foot. I pull him over my knee. Come back. I got my body up out of the way so that he'll go that way. So I come up, I pull him across my knee, I have a tight waist. Okay, I set that up, I'm trying my spiral ride. He won't go down. So I put my knee next to his foot, I straighten up out of his way, and I pull him across my foot with this arm. Okay, so I'm trying to run this. I block his foot. I trip him down. Okay, so I'm combining two moves. I'm combining this with my spiral ride. He won't go down from my spiral. I block his knee. I block his ankle with my knee. I pull him across my knee. I tight waist him. Okay, I got Dylan and Connor. They're going to run the spiral ride, breaking each other down. Good job. Putting weight forward on his hands, breaks him down. Do it again. This time Connor's not going to go down. Keep turning all the way. Get to the side the camera can see. He's going to turn him. Connor won't go down. Dylan's going to block his foot with his knee. Pull him his hips across his foot. Break him down. He's tripping him with his knee there, blocking his foot. Combining his spiral ride with his chop. Okay, let's see you do it. Connor's going to run his spiral ride. He's going to get Dylan's hip down to the mat. Do that again. That was a good one. Notice when Connor's doing this, go ahead. He's going now. He's putting a lot of weight. It's going to pull that hip down to the mat. That's what he's trying to do. That spiral's pulling that hip down to the mat. Go ahead and run your spiral. Do it. Run your feet out. Run your feet all the way out. It's pulling Dylan down to his mat, his hip, attacking his wrist. Good job. Now this time he's going to combine it with the knee block. Dylan's not going to go down. Connor's going to block his ankle. Helps trip him down, knocks him over. Okay, now we're going to do another leg ride. This is not the crossbody. It's a little bit different. Call it the shallow legs, where Dylan's going to get on top of Connor. And this time, just do one in the ankle hook. Remember your ankle? Yes. Okay. Sit up on top like a horse. Okay, he's not draping over the guy. Don't drape over, sit up. Yeah. He's riding him like a horse. Straight up. He's not draping over where he's going to roll off to the side. This leg's not grapevined in all the way. He just has a shallow leg. The back of his heel is right in his front pocket like a spur. This foot here is hooked underneath the ankle. Okay, so these are the handles he uses. These are his two stirrups on top of the horse on the saddle. Okay, so he wants to stay right on top like a horse, come straight up. He does not want to end up on the side. The bottom, so there's different ways to break the guy down here. He's going to drive forward with his hips. He's going to lift this ankle with his toe. Go ahead and do it. His hips are in. Come back up. Just simple. Just hips in. He's using this foot to lift this ankle. It's stretching the guy out. Do it again. Try to fight it a little, Connor. Yeah. He's just going to make him break him down. Working to break him down. Spreading him out. Okay, now Dylan's going to get on top the same way. Connor's just going to chase his tail, kind of just turn, kind of like riding a bull. And I just want him working on trying to stay on top. That's what I don't want to happen. I want him to try to stay on top. Okay, he's going to have to keep his balance. His leg needs to be shallow. Stop, break. Okay, here's what kids will do a little bit. He's a little bit on the side of the horse instead of up on top on the saddle. I want him right up on top. I want him right up here so he can just hang on. He's pinching with his knees. Okay, move, Connor. So Connor's turning. Dylan's hanging on. He's keeping his balance. He's pinching with his knees. He's hanging on with his toes. Now he's using his body. Okay, this is where we want to be. And then we can work at breaking him down. Hips in, lifting the ankle with his toe. That's the shallow legs, leg riding. The next ride and breakdown we're working on is more of a basic one, a good one for beginners to use. Advanced wrestlers use it too. It's just a good one for beginners to start with because it's easy to understand. There's not a lot of risk in it, but it's just an ankle ride. And it's just an ankle ride right here where you can see Johnny has Keegan's ankle hooked here. And he's sitting down on the ankle. He's biting down on it like an alligator mouth, okay? He's not up off it like this where Keegan can just step out of there, okay? He's sitting down on it. He's biting down on it like an alligator mouth, riding the ankle. And the reason why he can do that, it grabs on, he can stretch this back and stretch that guy down because that leg's grabbing a hold of that ankle and pulling his leg backwards, okay? So what we're going to do with this, now turn, keep turning this way, chop and turn him this way. We're going to chop with this. Our opponent's going to build back up. Keegan's going to build back up to a base. But what we're going to look for when we chop is we want to control this wrist with this hand, chopping wrist, okay? And then he's going to come back up, and we're going to keep that wrist, we're going to keep posting that hand, and we're going to keep pulling this guy in a circle that way. Keep building up, Keegan. Yep, keep pulling him in a circle, Johnny. Okay? So we're just going to ankle ride, wrist ride. Hook the ankle, ride the wrist. Okay? Now Johnny can turn this into a 2-on-1. We can reach in there and grab both hands on the wrist. It's just a safe ride. We're going to hook his ankle. We're going to get his wrist. We're going to keep turning the guy in a 180. And we're going to look for specific pin holds off of this ride. Ankle, wrist. Go ahead and keep running it. Keep building up, Keegan. Good. Okay, break. Okay, here's one of the ways I'm getting this ankle. I can't just step over. He's hiding his ankle. So I'm going to chop, and I'm going to drive. I'm going to drive forward with my knee. Okay, there's that foot. I'm going to hook onto it. Then I sit and trap it like a bear trap. Okay, I'm going to chop. I'm going to continue to whizzer with this hand across his gut. It sticks that wrist right in my hand. I'm going to grab that wrist. I'm going to keep turning him, keep driving my knee in his butt. Every time he gets up, I'm going to point his head a little bit more clockwise. In this case, I'm turning clockwise. Okay? I'm just going to keep continuing to twist this guy. I don't just want to drive him straight. I want to drive him this way. I want to pull him in a circle. Okay, the first pin hold we're going to work on is one that's familiar to every youngster and every advanced wrestler, the half Nelson. So what we're going to do, face the camera, is Steven's going to get a one-on-one wrist tie right here. Okay? He's going to use his forehead to drive Dylan's head down. Okay? That's going to allow him to get his half Nelson hand up onto the back of his head easier. If Dylan has his head up, it's harder for him to reach the back of his head. Okay? So we're going to use the back of our head. We're going to get our hand on the back of his head there. And then we're going to continue to drive forward, a little bit forward and a little bit at an angle. And when we get to here, Steven's going to pull him into a circle. He's going to continue to pull him into a circle as he gets armpit deep. He's going to suck it up chest to chest. He's going to keep his head up. And he's going to lift this guy's head off the mat. When this guy's getting pinned, he wants to bridge on his head. Okay? So if I don't lift his head, it prevents me from getting the pin. The other thing that this guy's going to do, his coach is going to tell him to get out of bounds. So he's going to start trying to scoot that way. So I'm going to have this dude stick a big kickstand out here. Okay, that's going to prevent him from being able to scoot that way. Okay, I'm not going to let him get out of bounds. Steven's going to run this half. He's going to control the wrist. He's going to use his head to drive Dylan's head down. He's going to get his hand on top of the head. He's going to continue to run that guy's chin into his chest and tuck his chin like he's doing a somersault. He's pulling him in a circle, scooping it with his elbow. Then he's going to suck that half up tight. Now, this guy's coach is going to be telling him to get out of bounds. Okay? He's going to be telling him to scoot that way. Scoot that way, Dylan. So I'm going to have this guy stick this kickstand out here. Okay? A lot of coaches will tell their wrestlers to tee out. Okay, they'll say tee out, which means go this way across his body like a T. Okay, well, my opponent can still scoot that way, and he can get out of bounds. Okay, I don't want him to be able to do that. I want him to get out here. I'm putting my foot up at the North Pole, so he can't go that way. That's his kickstand. It prevents him from scooting out of bounds. Okay, I'm going to run a spiral half Nelson. I'm going to run my spiral ride. I'm going to use it to set my half Nelson up. Okay, I'm going to use my head, just like I showed earlier when I'm running a spiral. I'm using this to get his head down. Once I get his head down to here, I should be able to touch my own hand on my forehead, okay, the tomahawk chop. I bring my hand up. If I can touch my forehead, I know that I can get this half Nelson on, okay? I got this half Nelson on here. Notice my leg out here. It's like a kickstand so that he can't wing and roll me. If I come down to this knee, I'm in danger, okay? I don't want to be here. So I got pressure on this foot the entire time. I'm going to continue to run my spiral until I can step this knee right in front of his. Now I'm going to pull him across my knee into a circle until I can sink this deep. Now I'm going to use my elbow to scoop this up, lift his head, post my foot out north so he can't scoot out of bounds. Show a pin hold from one of the breakdowns we already did. One of the rides and breakdowns where I'm riding his ankle. I'm riding his ankle here. I'm chopping his arm here. I'm going for this wrist control over here. What I continue to do is turn this guy in a circle. My hand will stick to the mat. I'm using friction here to my advantage. I'm sticking my hand to the mat, and I'm just pulling. I'm driving my knee right into his butt. He's going to keep coming back up to a base. Okay, I'm going to just pull him this way into a circle. Now, if my opponent makes the mistake of leaving his head down like this, I'm going to keep this hand up tight against his belly, and I'm just going to drive my knee straight forward. My knee's going to go straight forward towards his head. I'm going to lift his butt right over his head, and I'm just going to stack him right there. Okay? So I'm pulling him in this circle. I'm chopping. I'm riding his wrist. He makes the mistake of leaving his head down. I drive him with my knee, stack him up. Ankle ride, wrist, stack. Okay, next I'm going to do another ankle ride. Another ankle ride here, where I'm holding onto this guy's ankle. I got it anchored. I'm biting down on it like an alligator mouth. Okay, I'm going to bait this guy. I'm going to stick my leg up there. Okay? I want him to grab that leg, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that one too. I bent my leg close. So I'm grabbing his arm and I'm grabbing his ankle. So I got both the limbs on this side of his body trapped. Okay? So I'm going to step up. I'm not stepping up straight. I do not want him to knock me down to this hip. Okay? So I step up at an angle like a kickstand, and then I grab it. I've got his wrist trapped in there. Now I want the guy to look that way. So what I'm going to do is give him a cross face. Boom. He's going to willingly look the other way. Okay? So when I hit this cross face, he's going to look that way. I'm going to dig a half on this other side. Okay? I'm going to dig a half over here. Now I'm going to pull this hand out. I'm going to pull this arm back to his knee. I'm going to rotate him into a stack. Okay. Notice I never went to my hip. A lot of people will try this and they'll go like this. I might get back points, but I definitely will not pin the guy like this. Okay? So, I step up. He takes the bait. I grab his wrist. I cross-face him to get him to look that way. Okay? And then I just bring my hands together like a headlock, but I bring this hand up so I can get a half. Reach. Pull this back. Rotate like a stack. Now let's just go all the way here. Now this angle, just so you can see what I'm doing here. He grabs the bait. I trap it. I cross-face him, make him look that way. Bring my half up. Bring my knee back to his knee. Rotate up to a step. Okay, another pin hold, the cradle. This is going to be a near side cradle or a head in the side cradle. The cradle's a great move. It's probably most pins are from a cradle. And that's at the state championships, the NCAAs, most tournaments. You're going to find that the cradle is pretty much the dominant pin hold. So if you can perfect one of the cradles at a young age and continue to do it, it'll bring you lots of success. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a near side cradle or head in the side cradle. I'm going to use one of the breakdowns that we already worked on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tight waist ankle, where I'm going to go here and I'm going to break this guy down to his hip. Okay? So I'm going to break this guy down to his hip here. Now I have his leg going behind this leg's knee. Okay? Now if he straightens this out, okay, I don't have this anymore. Okay? But when I break it down, I want to try to keep this leg bent right here. Okay? I'm keeping this leg bent. I'm holding it with my knee. And I'm holding it with my arm. I'm going to attack his head. Okay? So what that does is it crunches this leg towards his head. Because I'm going to let go of this, and I'm going to switch to this. Okay? I might need to use my head here. Okay, once I get to here and I get my hands locked, I'm going to get behind this leg with both of my legs, and then I'm going to walk his knee right up to his face. I'm going to be on my toes and my forehead, and I'm going to go for the pin. Okay? The key thing is, I want to get this near knee near his head. Okay? If this knee gets close to his head, I'm going to be able to do my near side cradle. So there's different tools I can use to get that knee towards his head. I can use our ankle right here. I can keep his head down. Okay? Kind of like we did our stack. Kind of like when I was stacking him and I'm blocking this head. except this time I don't have the wrist. Okay, or maybe I do, but I got his head down. Maybe his wrist is out of there, but I get his head down. Okay, keep his head down. I put a bar on the back of his head with a little meat hook, and then I reach in here behind this leg so I can lock my hands. I step all the way behind his knee, and I walk it up to his face. Okay, come back up. So I use my ankle ride to get it, or I use my tight waist ankle to get it, where I drive him down here. Then I'm going to pull this foot. I'm going to attack his head with this hand. I'm going to pull this foot, and it's going to help pull this other knee up to his head for me. Then I'm going to switch to my cradle. I'm going to walk behind his knee, take it up to his face. Okay, the next cradle is a cross-face cradle. There's different ways for me to work this cradle. First of all, just from a breakdown, we have this guy already broken down to his belly. Okay, so what I'm going to do when I'm up here, I'm going to block this elbow, and I'm going to run that face that way, okay? So I'm going to block his elbow, post it, cross-face him, and I want to hook up as high as I can go on his arm right here, okay? Now, this guy's not going to want to face that knee, okay? But I'm going to make him I'm going to make his head get closer to his knee by using my hips. I'm going to lift this up, and I'm going to run my hips that way, okay? Okay, notice, I didn't bring these things together. I didn't try to bring that knee up to his head. It's too hard for me to do that. I'm going to run this head down there by his knee. Now I'm going to lock my hands. Okay? Now I don't just want to sit here and pull him back. Okay? I'm going to jump all the way over to here, and I'm going to use my hips to drive him this way. Okay? Now I want my bottom knee in his side and go for the fall. Okay? So, he's on his belly, cross face, okay? I'm going to block his knee, okay? All this does is this glues behind his knee. I'm not going to try to move this knee from here to there, okay? I'm going to move his head down to his knee, okay? So I sit through right here, kind of sit through. I lift this up. I lift his chest up off the mat. I run it towards his knee. I lock my hands. I jump all the way over to here, and what that does is it lets me expose this shoulder. See where that shoulder is? If I just pull this guy back right now, his shoulder's up on my chest. I'm not going to pin him there. Okay? So I'm going to jump all the way to here. That pops that shoulder out. When I come back to here and put my knee in his side, I'm going to get the fall. Cross-face cradle. Johnny's going to run the cross-face cradle. He's going to block the elbow. Cross-face, reach up high as he can on his arm. Post behind the knee. Circle out to the... His post should be right here. Circle out to the side. Okay. He's not taking the knee to the head. He's taking the head to the knee. Run the head to the knee. And then he's going to lock his hands. Then he's going to jump over. Jump over this way. And he's going to push with his hips. That shows the guy's shoulder to the mat. And he's going to put his bottom knee in the side. Right here, I'm also going to have this guy stick his forehead right into the side of that guy's temple. Cross-face cradle. Okay, a barbed wire is a move that I'm going to do once I got my opponent flat with my preferred breakdown. What I'm going to do, my opponent comes down, he brings his hands out so I can't get his wrists. I'm going to block his elbow just like the cross-face cradle. I'm going to reach above his elbow up here. Okay? Now, instead of going for a cross-face cradle, okay, when I do a cross-face cradle, I need him to face this way. Okay? So he knows that. So he's going to face the other way. He's going to straighten his body. I'm going to take this hand. I'm going to bring it underneath here and grab above his elbow. Okay? And then I'm going to rotate this way. I keep his elbows. I stay chest to chest. I got him pinned. Barbed wire. Okay, Dylan's going to do his breakdown. He's going to go to his cross face and then to his barbed wire. Pull it across, reaches underneath, and then he rotates. Keeps his head up on the guy's belly and up on the guy's chest. He settles back and goes for the fall. Barbed wire. Okay, this time the top guy's going for the barbed wire. He's digging for the barbed wire. That guy doesn't want to get sucked underneath. He has to turn this hip down. Okay, so what it does is it sets up this guy's cross-face cradle. He's going to go back to here. He's going to post behind the knee and keep it secured. Now he's got to run his head to the knee. Run the head to the knee. Lock the hands. Now run all the way back. Nope, jump all the way over. He's going to jump all the way over. He's going to drive with his hips. Knee in the side. Okay, a barbed wire is a move that I'm going to do once I got my opponent flat with my preferred breakdown. What I'm going to do, my opponent comes down, he brings his hands out so I can't get his wrists. I'm going to block his elbow just like the cross-face cradle. I'm going to reach above his elbow up here. Okay? Now, instead of going for a cross-face cradle, okay, when I do a cross-face cradle, I need him to face this way. Okay? So he knows that. So he's going to face the other way. He's going to straighten his body. I'm going to take this hand. I'm going to bring it underneath here and grab above his elbow. Okay? And then I'm going to rotate this way. Keep his elbows. I stay chest to chest. I got him pinned. Barbed wire. Okay, Dylan's going to do his breakdown. He's going to go to his crossface and then to his barbed wire. Hold it across, reaches underneath, and then he rotates. Keeps his head up on the guy's belly and up on the guy's chest. He settles back and goes for the fall. Barbed wire. Okay, this time the top guy's going for the barbed wire. He's digging for the barbed wire. That guy doesn't want to get sucked underneath. He has to turn this hip down. Okay, so what it does is it sets up this guy's cross-face cradle. He's going to go back to here. He's going to post behind the knee and keep it secured. Now he's got to run his head to the knee. Run the head to the knee. Lock the hands. Now run all the way back. Nope, jump all the way over. He's going to jump all the way over. He's going to drive with his hips. Knee in the side. Okay, well, next I'm going to run a bar arm chicken wing. I'm going to go ahead and have my opponent flat, whatever breakdown I choose to do. What I like to do is make a hook when I break this guy down with a chop. Okay, so that it sucks this elbow up to me. Okay, so come back up. So when I break him down, I'm chopping with this hook. I'm pulling him in a circle like I've been working. It makes this hook pop up here where his elbow is. I'll turn back that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up here to my chest. I want to get behind his elbow. I don't want this elbow in my armpit real tight. This is too tight. I don't want to be between his arm and his body. Okay? If this happens, I'm going to grab that hand with my leg. I'm going to suck it in so that I'm right behind his elbow. Okay? I can grab this wrist here or I can grab this here. I prefer it like this. Okay? I'm going to grab it like this and I'm going to drive forward right towards this hand so that it'll close his arm and scrunch it right underneath his body. All I need this hand to do is post right here like a fence post. Okay, I don't need to be in here grabbing this. The reason why I don't prefer this is because his shoulder is going to end up on top of my arm. That's harder for me to pin this guy. Okay, so I'll grab his hand or I'll post in front of it like a fence post, and I'm squishing him in between my hips and this fence post. Okay, and smashing him in there. Once I got that rolled in, now I'm going to go forward. I don't want to roll him sideways like a log. I want to stay right behind this elbow. I'm going to run my chest into it, and I want his shoulder going up to his ear. I'm jamming his shoulder up to his ear here, like he's shrugging real hard, jamming that shoulder up to his neck. Okay? Once I get to here, I'm just going to continue to run around his head. I'm not going to let him roll on top of this arm. I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to go around his head with it. I still have my wing. I still have this wing here. Okay? So, this time with a different handle, this time with this. Okay, this is fine. This or this. The main thing that's important is that I take forward pressure with my chicken wing. Okay? I can't roll him sideways. It's not going to work. I got to go forward this way. I'm jamming him up. I'm looking straight down at him. Okay, from here I'm just going to continue to walk around his head. I'm going to just see his shoulders go down to the mat. I'm going to ooze him down real slow. I'm going to have him pinned. Okay, I'll give a little bit different angle. I'm grabbing his wrist. I'm driving this forward this way. I want to jam that shoulder up into his ear. I want him to feel like he's choking on his shoulder. I'm going to run around this corner. I'm going to ooze his shoulders down. Notice my arm's still caught in here. This is still a chicken wing. Okay, I still got pressure here. My arm's in here. My weight's here. This is a compression wedge. Okay, my arm is wedged in there. I'm pressing that down, closing my arm tight inside of his. Lots of pressure there. Okay, the main thing is running this thing straight over his ear. Okay, a couple things I'm doing here with my body. I'm not going like this, belly down and driving. I'm sitting underneath like this, kind of like a sit out. And I don't want him to reach this hand out here like that, okay? So one of the things I do when I got that in there is I'm grabbing that hand with my hip. I'm sticking his hand in my front pocket so he can't pull it out of there. It's trapped, okay? So I drive forward, keep it right here. If his hand starts to straighten out over here, I just grab it, and then I shrug it in, and I drive it forward. Chicken wing. We're going to do the chicken wing again. This time I'm going to go for a double chicken wing. Okay, now sometimes this guy keeps his hand out here really strong. I can't get it to fold in. Okay, I can't get wrist control here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hand and I'm just going to kind of walk it towards 12 o'clock here. Instead of chasing this, I'm going to walk it this way a little, then I'm going to turn palm up. I'm going to pull this back. Okay, now I have a double chicken wing hooked up. This one's under, and this one's over. Okay, see the difference? This one's over the top, like this, okay? This one's underneath like this. I turn palm up, I suck it back, okay? Once I suck it back, I'm going to drive forward just a little, and I'm going to jump over his head right here. Okay, it's just simple. It's when he's overcompensating, countering my arm bar when I'm running a chicken wing, okay? I'm running my chicken wing, he's overcompensating, he won't give me that arm, he won't let me get the wrist, so I'm just going to come this way, palm up, pull it back, run around the head. I can even sit out right here. Sorry. Okay, we're going to go into a pin hold off of our cross body that we worked on earlier. Dylan's going to go ahead and get in there in the cross body. It's the one where we have our grapevine, fully grapevined on the leg. We're going across his body, our elbows in his armpit. Our foot's in the stirrup, holding on there so we're not getting knocked off to our side. Okay, one of the things, besides keeping him cross-body here, one of the things that Dylan's doing with that arm is he's looking for this handle here. He's got his elbow here so that he can look for that handle. He's going to go ahead and run the guillotine. He's going to drive forward off that right leg. It breaks him down. He's going to pull it back behind his head, and he's going to settle back for the pin hold and the back points. One more time. I don't know. For now, we're going to say it's legal. It's legal if the ref don't see it. Okay, so Dylan's in here. He's got his crossbody. He's got his grapevine. He's got his elbow where it goes. He's got his stirrup on. Where's your stirrup? He's got his stirrup on. He's going to drive off of this foot. Once he hooks that elbow, he's going to drive. Come back up. Yeah, we need to hook that elbow first. Okay, we're up here on our crossbody. Dylan's going to hook that elbow. He's going to drive forward off that foot. He's going to peel that back, settle back for his back points and his pin hold. Okay, crossbody. We're going to call this one the crossbody Turk. I'm in here grapevine again. I'm across his body. I'm hanging on with my stirrup if I have to. I'm using it as a kickstand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive forward and break this guy down to his belly, okay? I didn't swim in front of his arm and get the guillotine. It didn't work out, okay? He's going to put this, I'm going to let go of this foot and let him take it down to the mat. As soon as he takes that foot down to the mat, bring your arm in so I don't break it off. I'm going to kick real hard with this leg, okay? I'm going to kick right here. And I'm going to stay belly down like I'm body surfing in the ocean. Okay, I'm going to scoop his chin and pull it right underneath my chest. Okay? Okay, right here. I'm going to scoop underneath this guy's chin. I'm going to get my back points. Try to twist that way a little. Okay, try to get off your back that way. Yeah. I got to keep him down here. I'm going to make him look my way. When I want to go for this pin eventually, I'm going to rotate my arm this way. I'm going to rotate his head this way. Okay, I'm going to feed this guy an elbow sandwich for a minute. I'm going to drive straight down. This is going to get his shoulder down to the mat. I'm not going to pin him right here. I'm just going to get back points. Okay, so one more time. I'm in on the grapevine. I'm cross-body. I'm going for this. I break him down. Kick. I stay belly down. Okay? Notice I didn't go to my hip. I don't want to go here. Okay, I want to stay belly down. Okay, and then I want to rotate his chin towards me. That puts his shoulders down to the mat. Okay, next I'm just going to do a normal Turk for back points. I'm going to use my ankle hook. I'm going to hook this ankle. I'm going to use my chop, and I'm going to go for this wrist ride. I'm going to go for this wrist ride right here. If my opponent decides to stay flat, okay, the referee's not going to let me stay parallel. I got to keep working. Okay, I'm going to circle this way. I'm going to keep the weight on him. I'm going to grab above his knee. I don't want to go below the knee. I don't want to go where his leg will bend. I want to go above his knee. Then I'm going to lift, and I'm going to step. Okay? Now, I don't just want to, belly down. I don't just want to scoop this leg with the back of my heel. It won't work. He'll slip out of there. I want to put my knee down and slide my leg like a windshield wiper until my foot's underneath there. I'm going to elevate. I'm going to post this hand, and I'm going to get my back points. Okay, I'm going to watch Dylan ride the ankle. I'm going to see if he rides the ankle good. Chop and get his wrist ride. He's going to get his wrist ride. Now he can't stay parallel. He's going to have to jump sides. Jump over to the side. He's going to reach above the knee. I'm looking to see if he's grabbing above the guy's knee. He's going to lift it up. Step underneath. Drop his knee to the mat. Scoop. Post. Head up. It's real important to have an arch here. Chest up. I want his head up. I want to see an arch in his back here. That's going to give me pressure. He needs to get this leg up in the air. He doesn't want to relax where this guy can belly down. That's a Turk. Okay, next I'm going to go over a pin hold called the snake. We call it the snake. Maybe it's when I'm on top. Maybe it's when the guy attacks me. Maybe I just circle out front here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out to here. It's a common position when he shoots in or I snap him down. You see a lot of people get here. They try to muscle him over. You see a lot of beginners try it. A lot of people do it wrong. Okay, but mainly, the main thing that I want to do when I do this move is I got to get under this shoulder. I don't want to just be underneath it with my arm. Okay, like a forklift here. That's not. I just don't want just this. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to step and rotate this way, and I'm going to jack this up to here. Okay, and what I did is I pulled this up. I didn't throw it up to my shoulder. I pulled it up to here, and then I dropped my level with my body. Okay, so I'm pulling up. He's going to be pulling down. So I'm pulling up, and then I'm dropping my level, and I'm reaching all the way across this guy's hip. Okay, see where I'm at? I reached all the way across this guy's hip. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this knee down, and I'm going to rotate this knee up, and I'm going to keep pulling him into a circle this way. Okay? So I'm not using a bunch of muscles just to crank this guy over. There's a lot of misconceptions. People get here, a lot of young wrestlers, he gets his elbow down. The best defense to this is for him to get his elbow down. Okay? And the other thing that he wants to do is attack one of my hands, mainly the one on my, if I don't have a hold of his chin here, if I don't have both my hands, I can't do this move. Okay? So if he's got a heavy elbow and I'm just trying to crank him over, I'm not going to get it. I got to try to throw it up, and then I got to squat underneath it by reaching across his hip. Okay? That's when my knees rotate. This one's up. It'll go down when I reach across his hip. I'm going to jack him up. I'm going to reach across his hip, and I'm going to continue to push this way with this foot and pull him into a circle. Okay, Connor's going to hit the snake here. He's got the front head. He's got the chin. He's going to get the underhook. He's going to jack his shoulder up and get his shoulder underneath. We want this guy's shoulder right here in our throat. Now he's going to continue to pull him into a circle and go for the fall. That's the snake. Dylan's going to jump in there and do one. Jack him up. Getting his shoulder deep. Pull him in a circle. Thank you for watching our youth pinning and riding DVD. Hopefully some of the techniques that you learned today will help your young wrestler develop the skills he needs to gain some success.